Hello, Steve Mills, the Prudent Marketer here, and I'm really excited to show you something that I just found on LinkedIn. You know how I'm always looking to learn new things and really be at the cutting edge of marketing. Well, today is definitely one of those days. I want to show you something that I think you're just going to be absolutely and utterly blown away with. And I guarantee you right now, as I speak, and I'm recording this in December of 2016, so this is sort of going to be new for 2017 on LinkedIn. Not 1 in 100 of your competitors knows about this. Now, you may be familiar with InMail. Those of you who are premium members will know about InMail. InMail allows you to send an email within LinkedIn to people who you're not yet connected to. So if there's someone famous or someone in a high position in a business, someone very senior, it's very difficult to get hold of and be able to communicate with. InMail is a perfect way of doing that. Now, the new thing. InMail in the past has worked on a one-to-one basis. So I send out, let's say for example, I want to do business with or send a message to someone like Duncan Bannatyne, who's one of the dragons off Dragon's Den. And I can send Duncan a quick email through LinkedIn, which is going to arrive in his inbox. What this new system allows me to do is to do targeted email campaigns based on InMail, but to lots of people. So for example, I can tell LinkedIn to do an email, to send it out to accountants in Birmingham, or I can get them to send me an email to solicitors in London, or any other combination of that. And I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes giving you a quick overview of how this works. So the first thing we're going to do is to go to the advertising section of LinkedIn. That's here over on the right here. Click that advertising button there, and we're going to go down to create an ad. We click on that. It always logs us out when we're going into a new sort of paid part of LinkedIn. I'll then go down to, as you can see, I run this for many clients, so I'm going to go down to our campaign so I can demonstrate it on mine. We're going to new campaign there, and there we go. So here's the three sections. You've got advertising on LinkedIn, which you probably know about, the promotion of targeted campaigns so that you can basically sponsor content. That's the one at the top, and this here is the new one, sponsored InMail. I want to get a targeted message directly to the people who matter most to my business, and don't we all? So let's click on it and have a look at exactly what that means. So the first thing we're going to do is enter the name for a campaign. So I'll just call this for now the test campaign. We then move forward and we're going to look at the next section, and it's going to tell me what I'm actually going to call the specific campaign. So I'll call it test 1. How about that for a fantastic marketing name? I say that very tongue-in-cheek, by the way. The next thing we're going to do is to write a subject line. Now, you don't need me to tell you that the most important thing in this email is the headline. The old saying in advertising that the headline is the advert for the advert. So it's really important. So I'm just going to write in here, great headline, okay, because that's what we need. We need a great headline. And summary, we're going to need a great summary. We then got to obviously have some really good text, and you can see how here we can create text in bold and use underlined and bullets, and we can even create hyperlinks going back to our website, custom fields. Okay, so we can insert the person's name, so I can do sort of dear and then insert their name. and then that will just pick that up through LinkedIn. So again, I'm just going to put test words. Okay. Okay, next step, we're going to next, and this is where we're going to put in our URL. So let me just go over here and do that. The Prudent Marketer, so I'll just use my home page for now. Generally speaking, I wouldn't do that, by the way, because I really believe in targeting a campaign at the particular product that I'm using, so I'd probably do that, but just for now that will be fine. Now at the bottom it allows us to have a button like this. See this blue button here? It allows us to do that. So I might want to say learn more, or click here, or mouse there, or book now. Let's be positive here. Okay, so it turns that button to book now. I've then got the opportunity to upload a picture. I'm not going to do that now, just from a point of view of wasting your time, but just click on that and upload a picture. Very, very important, but I don't want to do that for now. I'm going to go into next. And again, this is really cool. Like all LinkedIn advertising, it allows me to create another ad. So it basically allows me to create another email, and we can do a split test and see which email outperforms the other. In other words, which one gets the most inquiries. So it could be the one with picture A and headline A and text A, or it could be picture B, headline B, and so on and so forth. Okay. So next thing we're going to do when we've done that is we're going to decide on the audience that we like to see our campaign. So I'm going to click there. This is going to give me the opportunity to do the directory, because we don't want to advertise to everybody in the world. We don't want to send an email to the 450 million people that are right now on LinkedIn. That would probably be quite expensive. So let's be a little bit more niched. So for me, you may or may not be aware, but we're based in Basingstoke, or Amazingstoke as we like to call it. But that basically means we're in the Reading, the RG catchment area. So I'm going to target people in Reading. Now you can see up here, that means I'm going to send an email out to 290,000 people. So that's going to again be a little bit too just throwing a what's its name at the wall. So I want to be a little bit more focus. Now this is where I do that. So I can target people based on the company name. So I could advertise to people who work for Vodafone. I could select an industry to advertise. I could select company size or job title, job function, and so on and so forth. So let me give you an example. So I go in here and I'm going to have a look now at the different industries, and I'll just select one. Let's go into, I don't know, finance industry. So I want to target people who are accountants. Let's target accountants, shall we? So you see how this number up here now, this 290,000 has all of a sudden really shot down, because it's now saying, right, target people who are in the Reading catchment area who are accountants. Okay, now I might also want to target people based on the company size. So I might want to target people who work for me, let's say that would be fairly typical. The massive accountancy firms are not really appropriate for me. But I've got a bit of a problem up here. My audience is too low, so I'm going to expand that a little bit, and just by way of a demo, there we go. Okay, so I've got 1,000 people now. I then could, if I wanted to, add job title. So again, if I typed in so I typed in that and added managing director, and then you see here it's also giving me other things here: senior vice president, president, manager, and so on and so forth. But you can see again I'm being too niche, so I'll just come out of that for now and let's just say we're just going to target people who are in Reading who work for accountancy practices. But you get the idea. There's all these other different people we can target. Now, okay, let's move on to the next one. And this is where we look at the finance side of things. Okay, so what's this going to cost? Let's figure out how much you'd like to spend on your campaign. Okay, so this is working on a cost per send basis, CPS, which means you pay for every in-mail sent to a member's inbox. Now it's suggesting here 49p. It's saying it's a minimum of 40p. So I will tell you, this is not cheap. But like all marketing, it is all, and I mean all, marketing is about return on investment. So if I send an email out to the 1,000 people, the 1,000 people who work for an accountancy practice in Reading, that's going to cost me £490. However, I might want to limit that a little bit, and what I can do here, you see, is I can limit it to saying, right, let's spend £20 a day, so roughly, I mean, if I change that to 50p, okay, that's going to send out to 40 accountants every day for me. So I set a start date to start immediately, and then let's say I just decide to run it, let's say up until the Friday before Christmas. I'm doing this on the 16th of December, so you know when it's starting, and I'm doing it for a week just up to the 23rd of December. So probably not the best day to do this, by the way, but typically I'd start this in the new year. Or if I didn't want to schedule this by a weekly, you know, £20 a day type thing, I could just say to LinkedIn, look, I'm willing to spend £100 on this. You know, so for not a lot of money, you can test to see if this could work for your business. Now, one point finally on this. When you send an email out, those of you who are on my email list will know I send lots of emails out. And that's great, and it works fantastically well for me, and I'm a massive advocate and believer in email marketing. If you're not doing email marketing, then you are sitting there with a pile of cash, just a pot of gold sitting there waiting for you to ask for it. However, I believe that people view LinkedIn emails differently than they do normal emails. Would you agree with that? I'm hallucinating that you would, because I know I do, and a lot of the people that I talk to, because I know if I get an email into my inbox that's from LinkedIn, then it's from somebody who I know or I'm at least connected to. And so people view it a little bit different. Now, one other really important thing. Through my system, I send an email out, let's say just for an example, to 1,000 people. How many of them are going to receive that email? Now, it depends on how good their spam filters are and how good my reputation is and what I'm using in the headlines. If I'm using words like free and, you know, discount and things like that, then that's not going to work very well for me. But let's say, you know, typically, you know, I get 900 of them actually land. 100 bounce, either soft bouncing because there's something wrong with a person's email, or hard bouncing because the email no longer exists. However, with LinkedIn, you're sending this out through LinkedIn. Now, I don't know at this point that you're going to get a higher delivery rate because it's going through LinkedIn. But my belief is that would be the case. Okay, so I think that if you use this particular campaign and did this through LinkedIn, you'd probably find that you were doing better doing it this way. Okay, so that's it really. That's everything I want to say. I hope that's been of value to you, and I hope you test it. Just go and invest a small amount. One of the things I say to people all the time is in marketing, it's all about testing, testing, and testing. They're the three most important things. You can test this for 20 quid, 2,000 pounds. If you turn over £1 million, go and put a couple of grand into this and see how it works. If you're a startup and trying this for the first time and you've not really got a budget, go and put 50 quid into it and just try a little bit. And if it works, then do more of it. If it doesn't work, either stop doing it or test a different headline, test a different picture, test a different offer, test a different close, a call to action, and see if you can improve the conversion rate. Because if I spend £100 and that produces 5 inquiries for me, and those 5 inquiries turn into 3 meetings, and those 3 meetings turn into 2 sales, and those 2 sales are worth a lot more than £100, then I'm quits in. That's a great deal for me, and I'll do it again and again. So that's it. If you need any help, obviously we'd be very happy to do this. We offer a service where we can do all your LinkedIn for you. We can do this for you, we can manage it, we can connect you with people, and so on and so forth. Give us a call. Website is www.theprudentmarketer.com, or you can check me out at thelinkedinacademy.com. Thanks ever so much for listening, and yeah, take action. That's what it's all about. Thank you.